Gordon, tell us about the roots you were talking about, the shallow
Oh,
roots.
okay. These what they call Hawaiian mahogany trees. They were planted by the forestry department as a watershed to protect the land from being eroded. But unfortunately, they have a very shallow root system. So whenever they plant it on a hill, and when you have a strong gust of wind, they tend to topple over. And usually they go right over the trail.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, that's how they maintain the trail in Hawaii. They
Yeah.
just cut what they need to cut, and they leave the logs laying there.
Okay. All right.
But it's still a pretty good, well-maintained trail
That's
from the
good.
looks of it.
Yeah. Thank you. That's an incredible lesson in that. I was just thinking about something that I want to ask the question, how are your roots planted? As he said, hey, good morning. How are you all?
Good.
How
How
you
are
doing,
you?
brother? Good, good.
All right. Good morning.
How are your roots planted? You think about it, that trees are able to survive based upon how deep the roots can go.
Yeah, look at these. They just gust the wind comes in, and usually they're clumped so close together that when one falls, it just
They all fall.
pulls the other one down too.
Wow. So the question I want to ask is, how deep are your roots? I want to say three things, maybe five. I want you to consider in terms of allowing your roots to run deeper. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good.
Loving this trail.
Yeah.
Hey, I noticed the trail happens, it's a loop,
Yep.
but when you start at the top, the trail is downhill.
Oh yeah.
If you start at the bottom, it's nothing but
much
up
better.
here. Yeah, exactly. So we, Gordon and I chose to start at the bottom, so we're doing nothing but uphill for the whole 4.8 miles. So, whew, my goodness. But listen, I want to look at this talk about briefly this thing about roots, planting your roots. Now, I'm not going to proselytize or try to be preachy. How deep are your roots? Do you place your roots in something that allow it to be rooted deeply or go down deeply? And I want to suggest the first is God. Now, I'm not going to proselytize someone to believe God how someone else believed God. You know, you have different views of God, whether through Allah, whether through Christ, whether through yoga, however that God is to you. I want you to allow that root to go deep, that it gives you a foundation. So when the winds of life blow upon you, you're able to remain steadfast, unmovable in the things that take place in your life. Number two, I want to ask you to reflect upon something in terms of roots, your relationships, hey, good morning, your friendships. Do you have friendships whose root run deep? Sometimes we have to uproot some friendships because it doesn't serve you or you serve them. And so we have to ask, do you have friendships that celebrate you, or are those friendships simply tolerating you and you them? I'm not saying you have to get along with everyone. No, that's not the case. Many times you will work with people who you don't like, you can't get along with. But in your life, there ought to be people that you can be around just to be yourself, that they celebrate you instead of tolerating you. They celebrate you. For example, I met a gentleman, he speaks 6 languages. We were down at the hotel, a very incredible hotel. You know, it wasn't 4 Seasons this time, but he speaks 6 languages, worked embassy. I won't talk about all of the 3-letter things that he did, but he would travel and get back home and start talking about all of the places in which he traveled, the places all around the world, some places that, you know, it's not necessarily always talked about. And the people started saying, why you keep talking about that so much? And his response, what else am I going to talk about? Am I going to talk about just fair weather stuff, things that does not serve us, things that's depressing? And so check the roots around you. Check the friendships around you. How deep are those roots? Are they celebrating you or tolerating you? Another root I want you to think about is the root in yourself. I was telling a friend, I said, I want you to tie to yourself. Oftentimes we want to serve and give so much to others. How much do you really give to you? So I asked that person, hey, good morning, how are you all? Hey, good to see you all today. I told them to invest in yourself. How much do you tie to yourself to invest in yourself? Spending $400 or $500 to take a class or certification to invest in you. In fact, take a trip. I'm going to just go ahead and plug this shamelessly. Come on out to Hawaii. Come on out to experience the beauty of Hawaii. Whether it's just meeting new people, going to beaches, going out dancing, whether you're salsa or not, just coming out having a good time in yourself, investing in you. How about you do that? Take the time to invest in yourself. Sometimes you can care so much for everyone else that you leave yourself on the chopping block. And so I want you to think about that. So those things, three things: investing in your God or whoever that is, allowing that root to run deeply. Second, checking the roots around you, your friendships. Do you get celebrated or you tolerated? Everyone wants to be applauded. Everyone wants to be affirmed or appreciated. So find those individuals who can celebrate you, but more often, what's most important is you celebrating yourself by taking the time to invest in you, investing in your education, investing in your self-fulfilling prophecies of wanting to do great things, to travel, to see the world. It doesn't cost you much to invest in yourself, but it costs you everything if you don't. Hey, look forward to talking with you more. Let's continue this journey.